Want me to say this is the Awakening Live?
Not at all. I want you to say shit. I mean, this is sarcasm, damn it, fucker.
Fred accidentally called us the sarcastic gamers while I was on the podcast. I was like, I actually thought he was talking to someone else when he said that. He was like, the sarcastic gamer, right? And I was just like, no. I didn't even say anything.
Sarcastic gamer, that's something completely different.
Yeah, and it treats us as like the awkward silence, just like it's amazing. I was like, it was sarcasm.
Sarcastic gamer back in the day got like really big at one.
Yeah, and people from there are actually kind of in our circle, like the mommy gamers. I think they're from there.
Okay. Yeah, I know of them. I can't remember if I actually really consumed the content. I may have listened to a podcast here or there, but at one point I realized I had too many gaming podcasts, and I stopped really listening to a lot of gaming podcasts because I didn't want to accidentally take anything from.
Right.
I wanted. The hard part about doing this show every week is making sure that our content is ours.
Yeah.
And it's just it gets a little, it gets hard to do that when you're listening to people talk all the time, and you kind of like subconsciously absorb the things that they have to say about it. So yeah. So it's just one of those things. But I'm kind of glad that I kind of walked away from a lot of gaming podcasts because it makes our content better, and it makes our content, I guess, in some cases original, and because for the most part we don't really like we don't like all of the same kinds of games, even though the only game that I've really played in the last week is the only game that we're really going to talk about from the perspective of us playing. I do want to talk about a series of videos that just came out. It's a rolling start. I'm just going to let that be what it is. This is Sarcasm Live. Chase is in the building.
Yes, I am.
And I should read the deets at some point, but if I read the deets, I probably should have them pulled up. That's probably a good idea. But you know what? Go to geeksgunraw.com. You'll find everything you need there.
Yep.
I'm kind of subdued at the moment. I'm not necessarily feeling that well, so it's kind of messing with my mojo a little. I wasn't feeling very well yesterday, but I did a live stream with Rashani and Shantae because one of the other podcasts I do, the Dream Team, is a part of Rashani's network, and they have a Patreon. So every month they do a Q&A, which he calls the Q and Awesome, and I was a part of that this month, and that was really cool. But I wasn't feeling very well, and but I still had a pretty good damn time. I enjoyed that. Check out Single Simulcast, the Dream Team, and such. SingleSimulcast.com. But here's the thing. I've been watching. I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a ton of YouTube, and lately there's been this trend on YouTube with people speaking out against NBA 2K18. And I'm wondering, like, where the fuck were these people for the last, I don't know how many years? Because they were talking about the microtransactions, and the My Career mode and the online modes where you take your character to the park or to the gym or whatever like that so you can play with other people. That mechanic has been broken for years, and the idea that you basically it's a basketball RPG, right?
Yep.
It's a basketball RPG, but you get points for your character very, very slowly if you're playing through the game, especially if you're like me and you're playing on normal, or you're nepoing it, because I'm not good enough to play at the higher level. So then you can at least do one or two things. You can get the 2K app and play their little card game, and then do a daily thing where you get their virtual currency. going forward. I'll just call it VC, even though
Mhm.
Rashani says that it sounds like I'm trying to talk about venereal diseases. But I um but like grinding VC or just saying fuck it and paying for VC has been a part of 2K since the My Career mode, which I think it debuted in 2K11.
Mhm.
So this has been a part of it every year. And every year I spend a little bit of money. I wait until they have like a half off sale and then I spend $10.
Mhm.
And then, just to make my character good enough for me to try to get the rest of the VC that I'm going to need in order to, have a decent time in the game. So, but like now, like it's a bunch of gamers getting all in their feelings about the microtransactions. And yes, 2K did a couple of dirtbag things this year. One, you don't get the level bonuses for your difficulty this year. Normally, if you play on a harder level, you get more VC. There's a multiplier. If you play on normal, it's just a one multiplier. You get all your VC. If you play on the easy mode, then you get a half bonus. So you get half of the VC that you would get in the game.
But that seems like it's not like pay to. It's kind of like Warframe, to where it's not really pay to win. It's
It is.
to,
It is. It is actually. It's pay to win because if I plunk down the money, then I can take. I can take all of the VC, put it into a character, and take my character online. And one of the things that you can do online is you can go to a specific gym and you can bet VC on games. That's where the difference is. You could put some VC.
That's a little.
Yeah, but yeah, you could.
That's like.
Yeah.
I mean, what about states that there's certain states that gambling is illegal? Like, is it legal to gamble in that video game in that state?
Well, I think it's one of those things where, because it's an in-game currency and it's I think it's capped at some point where like you're not really like betting like a whole lot of money, but if you have a lot of money to spend, you could probably do some things. And yes, that it is gambling. I've never personally, I've never done it.
Right, but it's still real money, even though you're like you could say the same thing if you were buying Microsoft points back when they had the point system and you were gambling that. It would be the same thing, because even though or gambling tokens, you know what I mean? It's still, if you had to pay for it, or you're gambling.
Well, you don't have, but see I think that's how they get around it, because you don't have to pay for it. Like you can grind out and play the game, get your virtual currency, and be perfectly fine. But most people don't have that kind of time and are not really just gonna be playing 2K all day. But I'm like, my problem with this is, like, yes, 2K has done some dirtbag things, and they like I said, the dirtbag stuff that they've done is taking away the bonuses depending on the level that you're playing at, because when you play on a higher than normal level, you don't get those 1.5 and 2 times bonuses anymore. I think it's 1.5 and 2 times for the Superstar and Hall of Fame one, I think. But I don't play on those levels, so y'all gonna have y'all gonna have to talk to me about that. And they've lessened the amount that you can get from the app, which a lot of people are complaining about. And they're doing some real dirtbag stuff where they put hairstyles. You have to buy your hairstyles now. And here's the fucked up part about the hairstyles. You go to the barbershop and you pick which hairstyle you want. You don't get a preview of what your character looks like in that hairstyle. And some of the hairstyles are like 1,500 virtual currency, where if you get an A+ rating in a game, if you get an A+ rating in the game, you get 500. And that's only if you get the A+. So a hairstyle is 1,500. You don't get a preview, so you buy a haircut that you think that you're going to like. It doesn't fit well on your character. Well, you don't get to send that back. You just have to buy another hairstyle. And they also did a real dirtbag thing this year, where usually when you get virtual currency and you have multiple characters, your virtual currency, you use it for every mode. You use it for the GM mode. You use it for, you use it for your My Career characters. Like, you have one generic pool of virtual currency. Also, your everything that you acquire, whether you win clothing pieces and stuff like that, or if you buy something with your virtual currency, you can pretty much use those with all of your characters. Not this year, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
Every instance is separate from each other, which makes everything worse. And but like, here's the problem. There's two problems that I see with this. The problem is you got a whole bunch of people who don't play the game that's complaining about this now. Because, like, I watched the first video I watched was Boogie 2988.
Uh-huh.
He was talking about it, and before he went into it, he says, I don't really play sports games. So what the fuck do you have to complain about?
Right.
I don't play this game. So why the fuck are you complaining? Like, and people say, well, I always complain about microtransactions. Yeah, but this is the first time you said this shit about 2K, because we have known this since 2K11, and you have largely ignored it until now, because now it's becoming a big thing and you don't want to be left out. And like I said,
Well,
I've seen.
I mean, he's got to talk about it because this is just like we're talking about it, because
but see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. The difference between me and him is I actually play the game.
Right, but I mean, I guess that was a bit.
And I'm not being outraged about something that's in a game I don't play. I can't be like, if this model was in Battlefield, I would have absolutely nothing to say about it.
Right, but you would probably still bring it up if, like, say you had a YouTube channel that had a lot of subscribers and you were making money off of it, that you would bring up Battlefield or 2K, even if you didn't play it, because
I have nothing to say.
Money.
I have nothing to say about people who play sports games and they do Ultimate Team. I have absolutely nothing to say because I don't do Ultimate Team. So I have nothing to say about people who play modes like that and they spend all of this extra money. What's up, Scott? And they spend all of this extra money on, like, Madden and all of these sports games to do Ultimate Team. And I think that you spend a lot of money on card packs.
Scott's here?
No, Scott is the person that I know that spends money on all this stuff.
Oh, okay.
Especially on Madden Ultimate Team.
Well, you said it like we had a chat or something.
No, I was no. When he hears it, he's gonna go, I hate you. But and it's weird because now my coworker's name is Scott also, so weird. Oh my God, my coworker said something really stupid. But like, so, I actually play Madden. And when I play Madden, I will, I basically do My Career thing in Madden, and I usually pick a quarterback and I play out. I usually play out about a season or two as the quarterback, and I usually pick a sorry team that needs a quarterback, which it's most of the teams this year. I pick a sorry team that needs a quarterback so that I'm not out of place. Like, I'm not going to pick the Patriots because I don't want to be like over Tom Brady. Like, that's kind of like, come on, like, what do you do?
Right.
But so I'll do that when I play Madden. But that mode, as far as I know, does not have the microtransactions in it because they make a lot of money off Ultimate Team and they need to do that. But I did talk about, because I actually play the games on Facetious, I did talk about how those microtransactions are not in live. For the career mode. I don't know about any of the other modes, but for the career mode, it's not in live. So, you waited until we have a decent alternative to complain about this. The reason why they were able to do this is because when it comes to basketball games, 2K was pretty much unopposed. Like, what else? Like, what? I mean, who else was making games? Like, Well, who else was making basketball games that you would actually want to play? Like, so they were unopposed, but now that they have, that was, I think when they were unopposed and they were doing this to the people who play their games, that was the time to speak up about it. I don't want to hear you say shit now. This shit has been happening since 2K11, so I don't want to hear nothing that you got to say, especially when you say up front you don't play the game. If you don't play the game, you don't understand. It's like it's like someone it's like someone who doesn't listen to metal music that just says, okay, now in 2017 it's time to complain about the screaming,
Right.
or it's time to complain about the growling. Like, this has been a thing, and you haven't paid any fucking attention at all. And it's like, well, now we have an alternative where people yodel over metal music, and now all of a sudden it's like the screaming and the growling is unacceptable, because like, where were you? If you got a problem with this, you should have had a problem with this the whole time. And don't just talk shit about it now because you have a YouTube page and you got to put content up. And then the same people are complaining about the shaders in Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Shaders, bruh. Shaders. And to be honest, like, I've played quite a bit of Destiny. Matter of fact, I played quite a bit today. The shaders are kind of cool. It's like, okay, I'll use some every once in a while, but especially when you're a low level, you discard things so fast that there's no point of you using your shaders until you get some real in-game content to actually put your shaders on. And if you're waiting to your in-game content to put your shaders on, you can use the ones that you got in the game and everything is fine. Like, there was people kept saying, is Destiny pay to win? The only thing that I've seen to pay for is the cosmetic item.
Right, yeah, because that's the only way that I'm fine with microtransaction. If one, they're freaking micro. Like, don't come at me with, like, I remember, what was it, Path of Exile? Mm-hmm. There was pets on that game to where, yeah, it's cool. They're completely optional. The game's free. But don't call them microtransactions when that pet is $45. You know what I mean?
I will say
that's not a microtransaction.
I will say this, that you can buy virtual currency packs in 2K up to $100 for a ton of VC, but you can spend $100 on just one VC.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and the microtransactions in Destiny, other than because it was kind of cool to where you would go to the Eververse and you'd actually have to pay for your dances. You know what I mean? Because would it make sense to where I open the chest and now I can dance like MJ? No, you go to the lady. She's going to teach you how to dance. That's how I actually kind of rationalized it in my head, is that you're actually kind of like taking dancing lessons, and dancing lessons cost money. There you go. Rationalized.
Yeah. I don't really care about the emotes that much. I did, however, get the table flip one that you got. I just got that when I finished. Cool. But I seen some and I was like, oh, that would be cool. I don't really want to spend money on it. And if I don't want to spend money on it, I don't have to. And it doesn't affect my game. Right.
Because the only ones I really did are the ones that really the seasonal ones. I got the thriller one. I got the one that was like what was his face? The nerdy dude in the stupid movie. Oh, what was his name? Napoleon Dynamite. His dance that he does, I got that one. So ones that are kind of iconic. Yeah, I got those because it's kind of fun. You know what I mean? But I didn't buy everything.
But yeah, like I said, even when you buy those, if you want to spend your money on those, they don't change. It's not like you're buying guns,
right? And if you are buying guns, or not like a gun, but you can get armor from her. But they don't have no stats. They have no light. Because they only have stats. They're just completely cosmetic. Whatever armor that you put in it, it's going to get that one's stats and that one's light. So it's just purely cosmetic, which is cool. I mean, it might have I got a custom gun thing from her, but it was a cosmetic piece to put over a gun I already had. Right, yeah, those ornaments. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are cool because because I got the one for the wrist runner before I even got the wrist runner. But once I got the wrist runner, it was cool. Now I can make it look cool, you know.
But
So
I got one for a gun that I already have, but I have a couple of guns that I got at a lower level, and now I can't really do any because those. But I'm still I I finished the story mode today,
mhm.
or did I finish last night? I think I might have finished last night, but I've been playing most of the day, so it's all. I'm kind of at the point where the grind is starting
Yeah,
because I watched it, but it was partly my fault because I watched a YouTube video and this guy said, do your missions, do your side stuff, but don't get your engrams until you're at least 265.
hmm,
But
yeah.
I was stuck at like low 200s for a long time, and I kept getting so much stuff. But my light level, I'm still calling it light level. But
It is light level.
but I mean, it's power level,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's power level until until spoiler. But it's like. But I was grinding, and I'm playing, and I'm doing doing these missions, and I'm doing these strikes. Well, I did more strikes than I needed to because I got the engram because it said just complete 3.
Right.
But I kept going because one of my challenges was to kill an enemy using a specific skill, and for some reason it just would not kill anybody. Probably because I had 2 people a higher level than me that just kept killing everything. Like I kept being the lowest amount of kills every strike that I did today. Like the people would have like 147, Scarfinger 67. Like that just kept happening. It kind of looks like my fantasy football scores right now. So yeah, that just kept happening to me, and for some reason I could not get this thing to work. I did so many strikes, like so many. I did somewhere between 8 to 10 in order for this thing to activate and for me to kill somebody with this skill. It's a Void Walker skill where if you kill somebody with a Void ability, they explode, and someone had to die from that explosion in order for this to work.
Hmm.
Yeah. And that was the challenge, and it was really rough for me to try to get that. It was a strike challenge, so it had to happen in the
Right.
so that was just kind of it was just kind of messed up. Okay. Can I ask you a question? Do you watch the NFL at all?
No, not at all. But
Okay.
you can talk about it though.
No, I don't either. Which is why I find it hilarious that people are, I guess you could say they're protesting the NFL in the same way for opposite sides of the same issue.
Hmm.
Because I do have a few white friends on my Facebook, and when I look into their comments, a lot of people are just like, oh, these NFL players are spoiled and entitled, and they're not standing up for the anthem, and I'm not going to watch the NFL. And then I got the people on the other side that is just like, I'm not watching the NFL because, Colin Kaepernick, who took a knee, who didn't do anything else wrong other than take a knee during the anthem. Well, he sat down at first. They said that was disrespectful, so he took a knee. And now he doesn't have a job, and he is way more capable than most of the starting quarterbacks right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like the quarterbacking this year has been absolutely terrible. So they're like, so I'm not watching the NFL until somebody gives this man his fair shot. And then of course the president,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't like calling him the president, but let's face it. But your boy 45, Agent or whatever you want to call, actually said he's waiting for NFL to anyone who takes a knee during the anthem. He wants them to fire those sons of the leader of this country called people peacefully protest sons of bitch. And
That's the thing, I guess.
I don't. And then of course he also said that he revoked Steph Curry's invitation to the White House, which Steph Curry already said he wasn't going anyway. So you can't, it's like Rashani said, it's like someone saying, you can't fire me, I quit. Like it's basically the leader of our country is a child. Like, he's a spoiled child. And this shit is like, it's disheartening to know that people actually voted him in. Like, if he was put in by a whole bunch of people who were in charge of shit because they knew that he could be easily manipulated or that he was going to look out for them on the back end, I can understand it. But regular ass people went to their polling place, cast a vote for this guy. Like, that actually, like, people actually did that. Like, and people, and I know that a few people put their name on it. They was just like, yeah, I voted for him. And I'm like, what is you doing? Like, and then, like, he's done nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. And people still support him, which I think is absolutely bunker. But, like, the leader of this country called peaceful protest sons of bitches, this isn't the first time he spoke about this, right? He spoke about this before.
We are having technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Okay, looks like it's working now.
Okay.
I don't know how long this is going to work. So, for anyone listening, technical difficulties. I don't know how the first part of the show sounded because my computer just decided it didn't like my microphone. And it said, fuck your microphone. And I'm like, what did I do? And my computer said, fuck your microphone. I should name this episode, Fuck Your Microphone, but I'm not, because I have a title for this episode. And
is it Looby 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 Looby?
No. I realized while playing Destiny, and I'm not going to do any spoilers. If you want to do spoilers, we can end the show and then do spoilers after the music. So if you want to do spoilers at any point, we can do that after. Okay?
Okay.
But while playing with John Pennyman, I realized I am a Warlock Supremacist.
Well, I mean, when you really think about it, just see how it plays in Crucible. Like I don't
play the Crucible at all. But
yeah, I know. But when you think about how a Warlock plays in Crucible, I don't really play Crucible at all either. But when I did some Crucible videos for myself, I realized when I was editing deaths out and just editing, like a kill montage, 99% of my kills were Warlock melees and Nova Bomb. I hardly ever killed someone by actually shooting them. That's because it's a Warlock. You don't have to shoot people. You just slap them in the face and they die.
Yeah. Especially, have you seen someone demonstrate the I can't remember what it's called, the bottom tree on the Warlock with the Devour skill?
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, have you seen someone demonstrate the power of that shit?
Uh-uh.
Now this might get nerfed at some point, but here goes. The Devour skill, it redoes your it instantly grants you health. With the Devour skill, you melee somebody and it instantly gets your health back. And then you have another skill where basically you eat your grenade and it starts the Devour skill for you. Also, you have another skill that while Devour is active, it makes your recharge for your grenade faster. So in order to, all you have to do is just stay in the middle of a fight. Your health starts getting low. You eat your grenade and then you hold on to your melee, because when you eat your grenade, it activates the Devour skill, which gets you your health back for 9 seconds. And then if it goes down again, you can either stick around long enough for you to eat your grenade again, or you can melee somebody and activate the Devour through the melee skill.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you're like a demigod out there.
Right.
It's like crazy, because I don't even use that one. I use the top one. I use the top one, and I think I might switch to that. I I realized that I like the Dawn Blade for the Warlock, but once I unlocked Voidwalker, I felt right at home.
Yeah.
I felt right at home. I was right back where I started. Of course, I'm a Warlock Supremacist, so I was a Warlock on both consoles. And even though I did do the lightning joint for on Xbox. I did do the lightning joint on Xbox, but I didn't use it for very long. I went back to Voidwalker because the lightning thing is cool, but that Nova Bomb is the truth. Though.
Yeah, I know. See, here's the thing. Like when I first started playing, and I realized there was no more self-res for the solar class. I was like, oh, that sucks. But then after I started playing more, I was like, I'm actually kind of glad that that's gone, because in Destiny 1, if you're a Warlock and you're like, playing Nightfall or like Heroic Strikes, if you're not in the self-res class, you're playing it wrong. You know what I mean? It's like you can self-res. You do that. If you're Warlock, you're the self-res guy. So I never got to play. I was like, well, I want to kind of be the Voidwalker. Nope, you're self-res. Because that's a logical thing to do. You can self-res. So now that it's gone, I don't have to be self-res guy. I can be whatever I want.
Word up. I love how when what was it? I can't think of. I'm blanking on the name right now. The Taken King came out, and they came out with these extra subclasses. When they came out with the extra subclasses, we had that cool ass moment where you got to use that class unlimited. You could hit those portals and use that unlimited. And I was like, that was the most fun part of the Taken King, where they just put you in an arena with all of those portals to recharge your super instantly and just let you go to work. I love that they did that for all of the classes, bro.
Yeah.
All of the classes. The only problem that I see with this is that when you're doing the Titan class with the bubble, that seems kind of boring. That seems kind of boring. But is the bubble thing his super? That's his super, right?
Well, in the first game, it was for the Defender class, but I haven't played the Titan in D2, so I know the new one is like a shield that you can throw and stuff, and then his original class, he like kind of did this ground pound and just made everything fly.
Right.
So, and then the last one is the bubble. Wait, no, they got rid of the bubble because that's void. So the shield took place of the bubble. So the last one would be the hammers. So the hammers are cool. So that's kind of similar to the Dawn Blade. You're just throwing hammers. So so you don't have to just sit there with a bubble in that mission. So that's cool.
Yeah. I just think it's cool as shit, and I enjoy it. I enjoyed playing that game so much. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. So far, and I may feel a certain way about it once I really have to start grinding. Really, because lately I've just been, I've been doing missions other than the public events and the strikes. It's not like I've been doing the same thing over and over again like Destiny.
Right, that's what I've been saying. Like I did one of the meditations where you do a story mission over again or whatnot, and I did I haven't really, other than like playing with other people and playing their missions with them, I haven't done anything over yet because I haven't really been grinding strikes because I really haven't had to, because in the first game you finished the story in like a couple hours and then you were pretty much grinding strikes.
In the first game you did the strikes in between the story missions to make sure that you had the right level for the story mission.
Right. But still, like, after you were done with the story, you were pretty much grinding strikes and you were doing the daily story mission. They got rid of the daily story mission because that's stupid. And then the only thing that's really I'm glad they got rid of dailies, because that's overwhelming feeling like you're missing out because you didn't get your daily done. Now they pretty much everything that's like going to get you anything is weekly. So once you're kind of in the 265, 270 range, it's kind of refreshing. Oh man, the resets happen. I can do my weeklies again. And then if you're done with that and there's really nothing else to do, then you can go play other things because, when you're playing Destiny, you don't have to be playing Destiny all the time. They've already got your money. I mean, you know what I mean? So you can do your weeklies and, go play your Persona, Scar. But but yeah, but there are something that you can do for dailies, which is the daily challenges, which takes place of the bounties, which is a lot better. So, but that's very minimal. I mean, and they do have the flashpoints, which is weekly, to where you do certain challenges on a certain planet, and then you get the tournament, and you get something good. But yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I'm 271, and it's slowing down now. But I think I've put enough hours in there to where if I did start grinding, I felt it would be my choice to if I wanted to keep going. I feel that I've got my money's worth. I've enjoyed my time. You know what I mean? And I'm still not done with everything. I still haven't done all the adventures.
Yeah, the adventures. I went back and did some adventures, and one of the things I really like about it is when you're playing with people, even if you're vastly different levels, you still feel like you're contributing, which I enjoy. Like when I played the game with you, and you're a much higher level than me because you started on launch or near launch, and I started a week later. I still felt like I was contributing to the team, which is awesome. And then when I joined John that night, oh my God, that night was rough.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's one thing that the division got wrong. It's like the division got a lot of things right to where it really did feel really cool and realistic and whatnot. But the biggest gripe that I have with the division is the fact that I got it late, and all my friends are level 30 with the high things, and I can't play with them.
You can't play with them because the moment as soon as you walk out in the world, everybody's a level 25. I'm a 7.
Right. Even if they come in my game, it's going to put them up to 25.
Right.
That makes it to where I don't really want to play because I'm either playing by myself or one of my friends I'm going to have to force them to make a new character, which I don't want to do. You know what I mean?
I wish more games did the Dead Island.
Yeah, that was
Dead Island.
Really
Dead Island was cool as shit because when Scott and I would play Dead Island, we are fighting the same enemy, but we are seeing the enemy at our level.
Right.
I'm fighting a level 7, but he's fighting a 15. And we're both fighting the same guy, but we're both fighting the same guy on our level. So it's not,
it's either that he's a level 7, and even though you're level 25, you're still a level 7, or he's a level 25, you're a level 25, and your friend's also a level 25 because you're there. Either way, however they do their math, it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the Borderlands thing, though. Somebody at a higher level just walk into your game and just start wrecking shop. But that kind of makes it not fun.
Yeah.
I call that golf ratting yourself. Shout out to the homie Golf Rat. But we were in the Borderlands. He got it after the fact. And so we boosted him. We got him in the game. We boosted him a few levels. And when he said he went back to play his own game, and he was such a high level, he was just destroying everything, and the game wasn't fun anymore.
Right.
So don't golf rat yourself. I like it being competitive. No matter what level you're on, I like it being competitive for each of you. And I like that each of you are having a good time. And neither one of you is like, oh, this level is too high or too low for me. In fact, I noticed your enemies' level numbers don't even show up in my game. Is that for everybody?
Well, if they are higher than you, then it will. Well, I don't know.
The only time
I haven't really paid attention to it.
The only time is when I played. I did an event very early in the game. I did an event, and there were a lot of enemies with red skulls.
Right.
But I have not seen. Maybe it's me not understanding the symbols or whatever. But I have not seen anything to indicate that, okay, I'm a level 20, but I'm fighting a 15. I have not seen that.
Right.
They do tell you, they do give you a recommended light level when you do the adventures and when you do missions and stuff like that. They say,
Yeah.
well, recommended level or recommended power level or whatever.
Hmm.
I've seen that. I did a couple of uh, level 90 adventures this morning. That was fun. I was at 220, so that was really a lot
Huh.
of fun. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Cool. Yeah, but yeah, back to
It was
Borderlands.
still, but even though it said that was the recommended, I was still having fun. Like people were dying kind of fast, but not fast to whereas I would be like, "Fuck, this is too easy."
Right, but Destiny's never been like that. You can be the highest level, go back to Earth and fight the first enemies that you fought, and they're not going to like go Borderlands to where in Borderlands when you go back and you fight low levels, you're not even going to shoot them. You're going to point at them, and they're just going to turn into like blood. They're just
Right.
going to disintegrate, you know. But but yeah, because in Borderlands, I remember that last mission to where it's like the alien things. If you do that on the second playthrough, like if you bring like a level 1 person into that mission and you just go and just kill all those alien things, you can like get them to the highest level like in the matter of like 30 minutes.
Yes. Well, I mean, Diablo is like that also.
Yeah.
Like you want to level somebody, do a rift at a really high level. As long as they got a rift key, they can get in. They can start with a level 1 character. Like what I did with playing the game with Def. Def would put it on a really high rift level, and I start with a level 1 character, and I leveled up so fast that it still took a few minutes after the rift was over for it to tell me about all of the things that I just earned.
Right, but the Destiny isn't going to let you do that for one reason is the fact that they do have the Iron Banner. So if you go in there and you're like a level 320 or something, you know what I mean, and you boost your friend up to like level 320, he's pretty much cheated the game to where he can go into Iron Banner and just beast everybody because he didn't earn that 320.
Yeah,
So
you still have to know how to use those skills. And
right,
a fake 320 can get outed really fast
right,
because someone who's played the game and knows how these skills work with each other and all of that kind of stuff, like that always shows.
yeah,
Which is the exact same problem that I have in like I get boosted up by death, and then I try to run a rift by myself, and I'm like, why is none of this working, and why am I dying so fast?
right, yeah. If you want to test your skills, like try to fight Mathiel like on a high difficulty. He will mess you up.
Right. So, what do you want to talk about? I've only really watched 2 things lately.
I watched something in the theater.
Ooh, what'd you watch? Did you go see it?
I did go see it.
How was it?
Yeah,
I don't even remember the first movie. I know I've seen it, but I don't.
I don't remember much of it, but I remember. Here's the thing: I really liked the. It's not a remake actually because it's a book, so it's So this is kind of different as that it's it's someone else's
It's a retelling.
version of right. So it's I've heard it. I haven't read the book. I've heard it's more closer to the book than the original miniseries. And for one, the original miniseries, if you probably remember it being on TV and stuff.
Yes.
But it was on TV. You know what I mean? Everyone remembers it in the video store when it actually came to video. That it wasn't a movie like in the theaters. It's a TV movie, so it was not very graphic. There's not a lot of language, if any, and it's a TV movie. I mean, your kids can watch it if they are, for the content. I'm sure they get scared, but still, it's not like graphic or whatnot. But this one is really good because the original one, other than Tim Curry's portrayal of Pennywise, which is kind of iconic, it's really not that good. I'm just telling out that the original is really not that good. But I really enjoyed this one. I had a lot of fun watching it in theater. It was my friend Max. It was his birthday get together. We went to a place called Buffalo Brothers, and I believe it was good. I don't really like it when restaurants have too small of a menu. But I also don't like it when they have too large of a menu. I mean, they had pastas and pizza and wings and burgers and salads and just pretty much anything you can possibly order there. So I'm like, what do I order? So I just went on a burger. So
it's the chicken finger backup. If I get confused or you know what, just give me some chicken fingers.
yeah. So, but it was the burger was really good. I got it medium. It was a Western. It was called the Western burger. So it had like onion rings and barbecue sauce, and in which I dig burgers in that style. And they had other ones, more Red Robin-ish type burgers, and I dug it.
I've only been to Red Robin once.
Yeah, I only went to it once, and I remember it being pretty good, but I don't think it was $10 burger good. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, we've had that conversation before.
Oh my god, I had the world's worst made hamburger. The hamburger itself wasn't that bad. I was at work, and there's a place that makes this kind of stuff that you were talking about. They do pizza and wings and subs and all this other stuff behind my job. So I walked around and I was like, oh, I really don't want to order a meatball sub again today. So I want to try something different. So I ordered a hamburger. And I ordered the hamburger how it came. And I said, you know what? Just make it how you make it. And just no tomatoes. He was like, all right, cool. I got you. It's like, cool. So I get my food. I go back to work. I sit down. And there is what looks like I'm exaggerating, of course, but almost an inch thick layer of mayonnaise and shredded lettuce. Like, it is disgusting. I'm not a mayonnaise person. I'm not a mayonnaise person at all. The only time I have mayonnaise in any situation is when it already comes on the hamburger, like a Whopper or something like that, and I'm like, all right, cool, I guess. But under any circumstance, I do not use mayonnaise under any other circumstance. None.
Right. I'm a mayonnaise person, but everything's good in moderation, because like the thing is, like, when people say, oh, salt's bad for you and stuff, but if you put enough salt to where it's, you're like, oh man, don't put too much salt. But if you put too much salt, it's not good. You know what I mean? So, like, moderation is key. Like, if you put enough of stuff to where, that's a bad for you, it's not going to be good. Like, something that's really bad for you, like the stuff on, like, Epic Mealtime and stuff, that stuff isn't good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then what I did was I went and grabbed a little spoon, because I didn't have any forks or anything like that at work. I went and grabbed the spoon, and I scraped off most of it. I put some extra ketchup on the hamburger, and it was still like mayonnaise heaven, and I did not enjoy that at all.
Right. And shredded lettuce, fuck shredded lettuce. Like iceberg lettuce, fuck that shit. Like, I want one leaf, you know what I mean, of like some romaine lettuce or something like that.
It was almost as if someone just made shredded lettuce and mayonnaise and then just put a layer of it on.
Because like, even like a Big Mac, me and Amber both have to get it light on the lettuce, because they're going to throw all that shredded lettuce all over that thing. You know what I mean? And it's just too much. And it's shredded lettuce too. It's not good.
Right. Oh, I totally want a good hamburger now. I did have a Rodeo Big King the other day, and it was great.
Oh yes, so good. So good.
I had a Rodeo Big King, and that was good, because I hate the fact that they don't make just regular rodeo burgers anymore, because that was my jam. Because if I was in a situation where I was like, man, I can't have no cheese, I would just go get a couple of rodeo burgers and some fries and be all right.
Well, maybe because one time I was wanting to order the Big Rodeo King, and I said, I'll take the rodeo burger up there. They gave me a rodeo burger, and I was like, this is not big enough.
Right. No, when I ordered the rodeo burgers, of course, it's when it's in between pay periods, I would get like 3 rodeo burgers and some fries, but I had to get 3. Like, there was no way I wasn't going to be able to have 3.
Right, but this was recently when they had the Big King, so they misunderstood me. When I looked up there, I didn't even realize they made the rodeo burgers anymore. So when I looked up there, I just said the rodeo burger, instead of saying, I would like the Rodeo Big King. Sometimes I don't say that.
So it was one of those things that's not on the menu, but you can get one anyway.
I guess, because they gave me one, I didn't want it, but since they already gave it to me, I still got to keep it. So
you were just like, I guess. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so
Yeah, speaking of getting to keep things, I was about to say a shout out to the waitress there because I had got a beer and it was from a brewery I haven't had before, which was a local one called Aviator, and they had their Belgian triple, which is called Devil's Tramping Ground, which is a local legend around here. And since I had never had it before, I had no inkling on what it looked like or what it tasted like. I know kind of how a Belgian triple was supposed to taste, but at the time, when she brought it out, it was in a cool glass because it was like the beer that they brought me out was kind of an orangish amber color, and it was in this glass that had like a jack-o'-lantern face on it. I was like, that's cool as shit. And so I started drinking. I was like, wow, this is really smooth and not really. It's not that strong at all. In which triples are pretty strong, and so I drank that down. She was like, "Oh, would you like another Devil Champion?" I was like, "Sure." And she brought it out. It was a different color. I was like, "This is not the same beer," because and the thing that tripped me up is Max ordered a red oak, and I was like, "No, that one's mine," because that was the color of the one I had. And he was like, "No, I ordered the red oak." I was like, she was like, "That's the." And I was like, "But look, they're different colors." She was like, "I'm gonna get the bottom of this," and then she brought another one out, and it was the same color as the one. She was like, "This is the Belgian triple." So the first one was red oak, and I was like, "So this third one I don't have to pay for, right?" She was like, "No, you don't have to pay for it because you know I brought you the wrong beer out." So I was like, "Sweet!" So I got a free beer.
word up.
And yes, the Belgian triple was pretty strong, but it was really good, and so I got pretty sloppy, and that was a fun time watching it a little bit sloppy. You know what I mean?
Did you at least wash your hand?
Wash my hand. I didn't use the bathroom.
I mean, you had to at some point, right?
Oh yeah. Actually, when I got home, I actually didn't have to use the bathroom until I got home, but which was weird. But I didn't. I went to that whole movie, which is actually a pretty long movie. The movie was supposed to start at 10. It probably started a little bit after that, but we didn't get out until like 12:30. So yeah, but it was cool. I was saying stuff and people were laughing. I don't remember what I was saying, but it apparently was hilarious. So
I did that the many times that I went to see Scream. I know I went to see Scream in the movie theater like at least 5. And after the first time, every time I was there, when the killer kills the principal, I would just scream out, "They have fuzzy, you bastards!" And people would just start giggling. But it wasn't so funny when I went to see Final Destination and that girl got hit by the bus and I was dying laughing and people were looking at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I was dying.
yeah, I remember laughing at some parts, and then that was making everybody else laugh because I started laughing at something so hard that I was having trouble breathing, and I was like had my hands over. But it was a part in the movie where a pharmacist was like being really creepy to one of the girls, like the young girls, and like I just thought it was the funniest thing ever. And apparently it wasn't supposed to be funny, but
Hey, sometimes things are unintentionally funny. See
yeah.
the movie The People Under the Stairs. The whole movie is unintentionally hilarious.
But yeah, shout out to Max because that was a really good time. I've seen some people that were there that I hadn't seen since high school and stuff, and it was a good time. Which sucks that you're like
shout out to Max because you just said Max's name and you just kept it going. Like I have any idea who Max is.
Because me and Max met in like daycare actually before kindergarten, so we've known each other our whole lives.
So it's like your best friend, Max?
Yep.
Okay, your bestie.
So, yeah.
Okay, your IRL bestie. No, internet besties like me.
Right.
Bro, let me tell you, we haven't talked about this because my birthday was last week. Rashani wrote like the sweetest and most thoughtful birthday thing on Facebook wall, and I was like, "You bastard!" Like, now I feel really like weird because I just wanted you to say happy birthday, but like you said all of this, and now I'm kind of tearing up, and I don't really want to be tearing up on my birthday. You bastard!
Oh.
I mean, for real, we've never met in real life, but you know, if I had an IRL best friend, it would be Rashawn,
Right.
even though he's
Yeah.
on the other side of the.
Yeah, shout out to Rashani too, because best friends are awesome, especially when they stick through you, man. Because me and Max have been through some stuff, and someone was talking about to where time and time, because we're busy, we're adults, it'll be months before me and Max hang out, but once we do, it's freaking 1999 all over again. We just click right back into it. No time has passed, So that's shout out to best friends because they're awesome.
Yes. So. I was supposed to start my new job on Monday. I don't know when the show was actually going to come out. So I was supposed to start my new job, and it got pushed back again. Well, they told me the first, and then they said, well, we're going to get you in there a week early so that you can get familiar with the place, blah, blah, blah. And then it got pushed back again. So now I got to work another week at this place, even though they've already hired somebody, and he's pretty much trained. He needs some further training for situational stuff. But for the most part, the normal stuff he knows how to do. And most days I'm at work, I'm just sitting there because I'm supposed to make him do everything so that he learns how to do it. Mm-hmm. Which makes my days at work terrible. Just absolutely terrible because I'm not really doing a whole lot because I'm supposed to make him do everything. So I keep having to try to find stuff.
Right.
Which sucks. Really stinking sucks. But yeah, my coworker, Scott, said something really weird. Scott has this thing about stereotypes about black people that I just don't understand. Like his mental picture of what black people are is way off. And it's probably just, the media. And it's about someone who doesn't spend time around black people just believes everything he was told about them. Mm-hmm. But he was talking about shoes, right? And he was talking about he associates Nikes and Jordans with black people. And he said that if he sees somebody black that doesn't have on Nikes or Jordans, it looks weird to him. Huh. And he truly believed that black people were responsible for the popularity of Nike and Jordan. And I'm like, how? Bruh, you do realize Nike is a, what's it, $500 to $800 million a year business?
You ought to said, man, we don't always wear Nikes. We wear Timbs too.
Yeah, pretty much. but just the idea that, I did read an article about how Nike and Jordan, how they tried to differentiate themselves from Converse, which was the basketball sneaker of its time, the Chuck Taylors, and how the cool kids kind of gravitated towards Nike and Jordan, and all of the hipsters and skate kids moved towards Converse and Van.
Right.
So I do understand that separation, but everybody wears Nikes. Not necessarily everybody wears Jordans, but I know a whole lot of people that wear Jordans. Hell, I've seen a picture of a KKK member in full-on KKK garb walking down the street with Jordans on. So it's not just, it's not, it's not just us. And to be honest, there is not enough of us. And no matter how much these shoes cost, a lot of these shoes are $200+. There's not enough of us to make $500 million for Nike.
Right.
Pump your brakes, dude. It's not that serious.
Yeah, I do the Converses. The thing about me and Chuck Taylor's is one of the main reasons I wear Chuck Taylor's all the time is because, and we'll still kind of do, but is that they were a inexpensive shoe.
They were an inexpensive shoe because I just bought my daughter some in February, and I'm like, fuck, why are these so expensive?
How much were they?
They were $50-$60 for fucking kid shoes.
Really? Yeah, because when I would buy them, they would at most $40, around $30 or $40. But yeah, they were inexpensive.
I can't wear them. I can't wear them for two reasons. One, I find them to be absolutely hideous. Two, I don't have narrow feet.
Right.
You can't wear if you have just a little bit of width to your foot. Even if you don't have fat feet, but if you have a little bit of width to your feet, good luck.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They were just a shoe that was inexpensive that I'm not going to get made fun of for wearing. because they're like a name brand. Because I mean, if I come in there with like the off-brand Walmart ones, well, in the '90s, feel like what the hell is on your feet?
Yeah, but you have to be. But I mean, I know these days these kids judge each other on what they wear. But when I was younger, until about fifth grade, I was wearing those shoes. I was wearing Pro Wings, and I had to wear
in elementary school. They don't care because you're just getting what you're.
No. They care now in elementary school. They really care now. But like. I didn't get my first pair of Nikes until I was in fifth grade, and I had to get some purple. They were black with a purple stripe because they were the ones that were on sale. They were black, all black with a purple Nike sign. I wear those damn shoes with everything. But like, I've been in a position to wear those shoes, but I never really got made fun of for wearing those shoes. And when I became an adult, up until like these Nikes that I bought last year or somewhere, like a few years ago, because I keep shoes for a long time. But I bought these Nikes. I bought two pair of Nikes. They were on sale for like $50 something. But he looked at my shoes and said, "Those are expensive shoes." I'm like, "I got these for $50. What are you talking about?" He was like, $50 is a lot for shoes. It's like, what are you talking about?
Right. But yeah, I don't really like spending, like the most expensive shoes that I like that I would buy, which would be New Balances, just because they are, well, at least they were around like 80, you know what I mean, for a good pair, and they were comfortable. But still, I would be like, why am I going to pay that when I can just get some Converses and they last me like my whole, like one pair of Converses lasted me like my whole high school. You know what I mean?
I would spend money. Now, I have spent, when I came into some money, a little bit of money around the time of when I was a senior in high school. Came into a little bit of money. It wasn't my money. It was my ex-wife's money. But we spent it a lot of money in about 2 weeks and have almost nothing to show for it. But I did spend like $80 on these Air Max that I had wanted for years. Like years. They were like $80 or $90. But other than that, I'll spend a decent amount of money on some nice dress shoes or some boots. I will not spend over maybe $60 is probably my max that I will spend on some sneakers of any kind. But I will say there are some shoes that I want to buy and they are past my price range, and I keep trying to talk myself into it, and I keep talking myself out of it at the last minute, but I want those shoes so bad. But here's how I talk myself out of it, because the shoes come in different colors, and I want like 4 different colors, and they're like $79 each.
I remember the different color shoes that they all looked the same, except they were different colors that were pretty popular when I was in high school, were the Sauconys.
Yes.
But I never owned any until I was out of high school. I got one pair, and they were made out of hemp, and they didn't last long at all.
Yeah, back in my day, when I was a young kid growing up, and we had to walk 100 miles in the snow with no shoes on. No,
and Grandpa Rugrats.
When I was growing up, a lot of people had like the Ewing shoes. The Patrick Ewing shoes, and they were all the same shoe but just different colors. Like, people love those shoes. They just brought those back. I think you can buy those again. But they just brought those back. But those things were everywhere, and they came in all different colors. Have you ever seen the Ewings?
I probably have. I mean, it does ring a bell a little bit. But like I said, I wasn't really that into shoes. I mean, I just got the Converses and the occasional New Balances, and a couple pairs of skate shoes, but mostly I didn't skate.
I've had a little bit of everything, and I've had a little
skate shoes are comfortable. So.
I don't wear skate shoes because I don't skate. I used to love. I had these these kind of electric blue, like just canvas shoes. They were called like Velados or something like that. I love those shoes. And then I had to wash them, and they don't look the same anymore, and I hate because I miss my shoes.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't talk about what I watched. Of course, I'm still watching Survivor's Remorse. But I My girlfriend and I watched The Matrix in the last couple of weeks because she had never seen The Matrix, and then we watched Cloverfield last week.
How'd she like that?
I think she enjoyed it. I want to see. I want because I wanted to watch 10 Cloverfield Lane again. I've seen it once.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Dan Trachtenberg who directed that movie, and I used to watch him on the Totally Rad Show. But I wanted to watch that movie again, and then I was like, well, we should watch the original movie, so we watched it, and I think she enjoyed it quite a bit. But then one day I was playing. It was a couple of days ago. I was playing Destiny, and I started to get a little bit motion sick. Mm-hmm. So I put on Netflix, and I said because I knew what was going to happen, right? Because I'm totally in on Destiny right now. So if I went to YouTube, I would just be watching Destiny videos.
Yeah.
So I said, no, I'm going to put on Netflix and I'm going to find some on Netflix. So I started Black Mirror. Have you ever watched Black Mirror? Black Mirror is like the Twilight Zone for the digital age, as I guess the phrase has been coined already. Because when I was trying to explain it to my girlfriend, I said, it's kind of like the Twilight Zone. Like every episode is completely different than the others. They're not linked together. But it has something to do with technology in some way, shape, or form, and how technology can kind of make things worse.
Right. I should check that out because I do dig some Twilight Zone. So.
Yeah, and the first season is only 3 episodes. Uh-huh. And the first episode, I'm not going to spoil it, but I'll tell you a basic synopsis of what the episode is about. A member of the British royal family gets kidnapped, and the kidnapper doesn't want any money or anything like that. He wants the prime minister to do an embarrassing act on live TV. And the episode is really about like the digital age and public opinion and all of this stuff, because they're trying to convince him to do this act based off of public opinion and all of this kind of stuff. And they're trying to find him and, all of this stuff. And they're using all of these digital means to try to track down this member of the royal family, and like what the digital age, how different this is, because, this guy puts it, he puts it up on YouTube. He put the video up on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And like how this stuff sways people's opinion and all of this kind of stuff is really, really interesting. It's like very, very interesting. And then the second episode is a guy is inside of this thing where it's kind of weird. It's like a gamified version of slavery. Like he wakes up and he's in this room. The room is completely surrounded by screens. It's like the walls are screens, and he has to ride a like an exercise bike. And I guess the exercise bike is really providing electricity and all of the other stuff for the people outside of those places. But he does that for these points, and the points are used for his like in-game avatar, and the points are used for him to eat. For him to, when, you see him go to brush his teeth and he, when the toothpaste comes out, it docks him points. Like everything he eats and everything he does is all revolving around these points. And like you can get out of these places. The main way that you can do, you can save up enough money and buy a golden ticket and go on to this like reality show, like America's Got Talent or something like that. And if you're good enough, you can make it out of that place, and you can live basically a normal life outside of having to ride that bike every day. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to say anything more, but there's an element gets introduced in his life, and he reacts to it. And then something else happens, and it's just really good. The third episode, which is my favorite episode, because it has so many things to talk about. It's a world where you have this little thing that goes behind your ear, and it records your whole life. It records everything. You can rewind it and watch it again and all of this stuff, but it records everything from your eyes and ears. And it starts off, he's in like a performance review for his job. And then he goes to a party where he's at a party with his wife and her friends from like college or after college or something like, her friends from like years ago. She's at a party and he goes there, and then everything just starts spiraling. But because
Is it sort of like Strange Days?
No, it's like watching your life back on the screen. Like, you can watch it over your eyes. When they use it,
right.
your eyes kind of go gray, or you can send it to a screen.
Right, but Strange Days is sort of like that as well.
But it was like a virtual reality thing where you're experiencing someone else's. No, this is just you're watching a first person replay of someone's life.
Okay.
Is not necessarily virtual. For him, if you're rewinding something and it's on your own eyes, I'm pretty sure it's almost like being there again. But when you throw it up on the screen, it's something completely different. Like, it's something that's, it's something that has been adopted in their society. There's a commercial at the beginning of the episode, and this little thing behind your ear records your last 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of crazy. Like, and then something happens, and it's like, what do you do? What do you do when something really bothers you, but every moment of your life is recorded, and you can go back and you can replay it over and over again and drive yourself crazy?
Right.
So yeah, it's really interesting, and it's also about relationships. And it's about like it's about faithfulness. It's about the little white lies that we tell. Like all of that stuff. Like it's really, really good. It's a really good episode. And I showed just that episode to my girlfriend because it's something that I just wanted to discuss with somebody so bad, because I couldn't find any like podcast or something that was talking about it, because it's not it's only a couple of episodes, so it's not like an AfterBuzz TV show about Black Mirror. So I didn't have anybody else to talk about it with. So I just was like, watch this with me. And then I just kept talking, and she was like, you're really worked up about this. I was like, I know. So yeah, yeah, but yeah, I've been watching that, and that's really cool. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it so far. Every episode has been completely different. That last episode, it could be a movie. Like, it very much could be a movie. If you drew it out in a certain way, it could be a movie. And
right.
I dig that. Like, I don't think that the other two could really be like a feature film. It's basically like, self-contained small short films. But it's really good. It's really, really, really good so far. And I think that the third season just came out. It's a Netflix show. The third season came out, and it's like 6 episodes or something.
Yeah, that's a good way to market short films to a larger audience, because there are really good short films. It's just a lot of people don't see a short film as like something that they would watch unless they're like into film. Short films are normally films for people that are into film. What I mean?
It's for like 40-20 people.
Right. So,
or at least that's how we view it.
Right. So if you have short films, have a bunch of them, like how they would do short films in like a festival. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Instead of putting it in a festival and having everyone watch the short films, put it up on Netflix. Make it a TV series that's all the short films together. They're not just like that. That's probably what they are. They probably are short films. It's just that they put them together in something called Black Mirror.
Yeah, it really is. It's really dope. And I enjoy it quite a bit.
Nice.
I'm watching a lot of YouTube. They just finally came out with I can finally get a damn family plan for YouTube Red, which is awesome.
Nice.
But I got to pay $5 more, which isn't so bad.
Yeah.
But you can have up to 6 people.
Nice. Just gonna have Spotify for their hold on, sorry for their for Spotify's family plan is it's 16 versus the 10. So, but it's like 6 people.
Right.
So me and Amber, all that's on there is me and Amber, but that's still better than paying 20. You know what I mean?
I won't be on Spotify.
Sure, I'll put you in there. Technically, it's supposed to be in the household, but I think it still works.
No, I'm just messing with you. I mean, I got like at one point I had like 4 people on my my Netflix, which they at some point they made that like illegal or some shit, right?
Hmm.
I heard they made that illegal. I don't know for sure though.
Yeah, my dad's on mine, so but that's the only person that's not in my household, but it's still my family. So
yeah. All right. You know what? I'm gonna table the Destiny conversation because I want to play it more, and then I want to actually try a Nightfall. I've never played a Nightfall before.
Okay, here's the thing that I was wanting to like bring this up because I forgot to bring it up before. They have changed Nightfall, and I fucking hate it.
Really, is that bad?
I don't know if I hate it because Nightfall is supposed to be the hardest thing in the game other than the raid. So
but Destiny is super easy, bro. Like this Destiny 2 is
he did
easy.
not finish it.
Huh?
I tried one last night and we didn't finish it. So
really,
here's the thing: the Nightfall before used to be, there was all kinds of modifiers. You know what I mean? The enemies are pretty much a level higher than what you are. You know what I mean? And then there was permadeath to where, if you went down, you couldn't revive yourself. You would have to have a teammate revive you, and if all of you went down, you went back to orbit. You had to start over.
Damn.
Now it's not like that. We can revive ourselves, and we can all die, and we can get back up. But now there's a time limit.
That seems like a decent trade-off.
But the time limit's only 15 minutes, and you have to like shoot these little things to get more time. And there's a max that you can get, and I think we got to the max of the time that we could possibly get. And when we got to the boss, we only had 10 minutes left to beat him, and we just couldn't beat him in the time. So, but yeah, maybe I was just used to the old one, and plus, we got pretty good at it, especially with the self-res and whatnot, and using the environment to our liking, and having me like try not to die and try to get everybody up and whatnot, and we were able to get through them. But it would take us a while, you know what I mean? So, and I just don't like to be timed on stuff.
Yeah, timers don't really make anything better in video games.
Right. That's one of the main reasons I never got into the Dead Island series. Not Dead Island, Dead Rising. Because fuck timers.
Yes.
Like I just wanted to like mow down the zombies. Like, and that's what a lot of people that like that game do. I mean, I'm sure there are like hardcore people that did play through the game and like the timers and all that stuff. But a lot of the casual people just don't even know the story of the game. They just remember it's the game that you like mow down zombies with a shopping cart, because that was the only thing fun to do in that game. Right. But yeah, I did have one more real life thing.
Go ahead.
Which was my I've had some car trouble, which I had a squeaky belt, which I knew it was probably wearing down, and I wanted to get that fixed. And then my car had got to where every now and again I would need a jump. Like I would get up in the morning, my battery would be dead. So finally, I was just like, I'm just gonna go test this battery on its own. And he said it was a good battery. And I was like, well, what the crap? And so that pretty much told me it was the alternator. And he tested the alternator. For sure, my alternator was bad. So I was like, okay, how much is an alternator? And I bought an alternator. But actually, I didn't buy one right then. I went to a shop and asked how much it would be to change the alternator. He said, oh, it'd be about $150 plus the cost of the alternator. And I was like, can you get me in today? He's like, nope. By that time, it was about 3:30 on a Friday. I was like, I need this done today. And if I don't do it today, I'm not going to be able to do it this whole weekend, or probably not even until tomorrow. So I went back to AutoZone, bought the alternator, and I put it in myself.
Good job. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, it was fairly simple. I had done one before with my dad on my truck, and that was a lot harder because on the S10 truck, it wasn't an S10, it was a Sonoma. It was basically the GMC version, but the alternator was like underneath everything, like all the intake and stuff. So we had to take all that out to get to it. Just taking the alternator out, putting one in is actually fairly simple. It's just getting to it. And this time, so I got everything off, got it unplugged, and on the alternator, there's a bolt at the bottom that basically is a hinge to where you can push the alternator forward to get the belt off of it. Mm-hmm. And then once you got the belt off, you can just hold it there and then you can loosen that bolt, pull it out, and just swivel the alternator off of that hinge. That bolt was so tight that I could not. Everybody that tried it couldn't get it. Like I'm not the strongest guy in the world, but I can put my weight on something and get it. You know what I mean? And nobody could get it. So I had to borrow what's called a breaker bar, which is basically a giant ratchet, except it doesn't have the ratchet mechanic, and you just have to it gives you more leverage and you can get in there. We finally got that bolt off. So I got that out and put it in there, and then I looked at the belt, and man, my fucking belt, it needed to be changed. So I got another belt, and I got the belt up there. So I knew it probably needed, but that thing was cracked all the way around. It just cracks everywhere. So I was like, son of a bitch. So, but the belt was only like $15. The alternator was just at $200, and they had to upcharge me $50, I believe. And then I got that back if I brought the other alternator in.
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass. Like, bruh, now you really are making me come all the way to fuck back here to return this shit. Just so you can turn around and refurbish it and make more fucking money off of it than the $50 that you motherfucker. You're like fucking Car GameStop. Car Stop. Exactly. You should change your name to Car Stop.
But yeah, I guess they do that to make sure that people turn it in so
it can be properly disposed. I understand.
Right, but
still Car Stop. God damn it.
But it still felt kind of good to go back and get $69 back. But even though
$69.
Yeah, it was 69 on the dot. He was like, it's 69 on the dot.
69 on her dot.
but yeah.
Wait a minute. No, thank you.
But then
because the period
I got it in
and I'm gonna do 69.
Right. I got it in, I cranked it up, major squealing, and I was like, okay, I don't have it tight enough. So then I had to really, because there's like a little there's a bolt at the top and it kind of slides down it. So I had to really get it tight. So I did that and it was good. And then the day my freaking battery died again, what? Literally at Walmart. And I was like, what the crap? And it actually died while I was driving which was weird because the thing about the alternator, when an alternator starts to go bad, you're kind of running off a battery. And if you're driving and the alternator's going, it's pretty much running off of that. You don't really need the battery other than to start it and to have the car running, when you just turn the radio on and whatnot without the car going. But, so none of that stuff ever happened to me. It's just my battery would die. And then, so today that stuff happened to me. So I started to go, my power steering stopped working, my radio was turning off and on, the AC was blowing.
That sounds, okay, I know nothing about cars, but it sounds like you fucked up the belt, bro.
But, belt.
Sounds like you fucked up the belt, bro.
But yeah, and then I got it, and then I turned it off to see if I just needed to turn it off, turn it back on. It wouldn't crank. So I had my dad come out. He gave me a jump, and every time I've got a jump when this happens, it's not like, okay, he puts it on and then he revs it, and then I'm like, rah, 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 rah. I didn't have to do none of that. He puts it on. He cranks his car up. I crank my car up. Done. You know what I mean? There's no charging or anything. It's just instantaneous. Mm-hmm. So I did that. I went back to AutoZone, and that's when I turned my old alternator in, and then he I was like, you guys got to check something. Because, I mean, I can take things out, I can put things in, but actually diagnosing problems in cars, I don't really know much about. I mean, I can just do minor maintenance, just replacing shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he looked at everything. Everything was plugged up good tight on. The belt was good and tight. He checked the battery. Everything was, good and tight on that. No corrosion. The battery, he tested the battery again. The battery was good. He tested the alternator. The alternator was good. So he was like, I don't know. I don't know what would cause that. I mean, asked my dad. He was like, that sounds weird. And he used to be a mechanic. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but something is. So if anybody listens and there's good alternator, good battery, and battery dying and shit not working, let me know.
Maybe your belt was wrong, and then it kind of moved into place at some point.
I mean, there's nowhere for it to go. It's like,
I'm just saying. I already told you I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I'm saying it's the belt.
Right.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. It's the belt.
You don't wear belts with gym shorts. Only reason I say this is because I know you wear a lot of gym shorts, which I do too, but because they're comfortable and they're easy to put on. Gym shorts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I put in an alternator. I used to have the real long beard. I know how to change a tire, but now there's even more of a deserving of a beard that I can, do minor stuff like that, and I can also so yeah, fuck y'all.
I am so non-handy. I'm so non-handy that my girlfriend was really excited because I looked up on Google and I replaced her bulb in her lights I just replaced the bulb.
You had to look up on Google for that?
I don't know how to do. I know how to do it with my car because I looked it up on Google to figure it out. But I don't know how to do it for her car.
It's just like the ones at home, except they're backwards. You just plug. It's just plug and play.
No, you got to figure out how to get to the bulb.
It's behind the bulb.
For my car, the driver's side is easy.
Mm-hmm.
The passenger side, there's so much shit in the way. It is not good at all. It's like you gotta I broke a screwdriver trying to get to because I didn't have any liquid wrench, so I just tried to put some man on it. And I had a cheap screwdriver, and the handle for that screwdriver crumbled in my hand trying to get this damn thing off.
Especially if they're cheap ones or an older one. That I don't know. That stuff is pretty fragile. I don't know. It literally crumbles. Like, you're right. It doesn't break. It just disintegrates.
Yeah. The plastic housing of the thing. It literally just crumbled in my hand.
And then if you have a lot of force, that can really hurt too. Yeah, you just drive the screwdriver into your freaking hand. But yeah.
I told you, I know nothing about cars. Everything that I learned about cars is kind of the same way that I did with computers. I learned more stuff by fucking shit up and trying to figure out how to fix it than I did in actual school.
Right. I did have to change my back bulbs, which Amber went to renew her license, and the guy at the DMV said my back bulbs are out, and I was like, really? Well, that's good to know because, my car is a pretty economy car, so it doesn't have a lot of I know other people was like, oh, this is out, specific things like, oh, your tells you how many miles you got until you have to fill up again. Yeah, my car does none of that. So if someone hit me by their fault, it would still be my fault because I don't have my brake lights don't work. You know what I mean?
I got pulled over once. I was at work and I went to the bank. On my way back, I got pulled over and I'm like, oh shit, what the hell did I do? And it was a lady cop. Even though, I'm a black person, this was years ago, but I'm a black person, and she had her hand on her gun to tell me that the brake light that's in the window was out.
Huh.
Yeah, she was ready to pull her gun after she pulled me over to tell me that.
Yeah, which is weird. They should have did that for me other than the gun part, because I've had cops behind me. Why didn't they stop and tell me? Unless they went out right before we went to the DMV. You know what I mean? Which is highly unlikely. Like, I've been driving around with no brake lights for God knows how long because I can't see my brake lights. You know what I mean?
It's just weird. And then, like, it wasn't even like my actual brake lights. It was the one in the back window.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit about that.
Right. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. And then all of this protesting stuff,
it's just like play Destiny, guys.
Yeah, play Destiny. Don't be a white supremacist. Be a warlock.
Yeah. Hunters are not where it's at.
Hunters are lazy. They don't work. All they do is just they live off the traveler.
Yeah, they're taking all the damn jobs,
and
too.
Titans are taking our jobs. Taking our jobs. We do everything. And the Titans just come in here and they're taking our jobs. Hunters are lazy. They live off the traveler.
Well, I mean, we are, doing the good jobs that get all the good loot. But still, the Titans are taking the jobs where,
right.
Like the ones getting all the spin metal and stuff. The ones that we don't want to do.
I pay my share lot just like everybody else, and they get to live off the traveler for free.
Oh, speaking of that, I remember people railing about Xur selling stuff that like they grinded to get, and then I would be like, I got that from Xur, and they're like, oh, you didn't earn that. You know what? Actually, I earned it more than you did. You know why? Because I did my dailies, I did my weeklies, I got all my strange coins, and I bought it with the strange coins that I earned. You know how you got it? Random loot drop.
Yep, just fucking showed up one day.
Yep, that's exactly how you got it. Because what were you doing when you got it? Oh, I was doing the Nightfall. Yeah, I done Nightfall too. I did Nightfall over and over and over and never got what you got. But you got it doing the same thing I did. But you know how I got it? By earning it. So yeah. And the Xur thing now, I like it a lot better. At first I was like, oh my god, that's shitty. Xur's using legendary marks, but dude, I have so many legendary marks. They're so much easier to get than freaking strange coins. Well, at least back in the day, the only way to get strange coins was like doing the weeklies and stuff, and you get three strange coins for a weekly and 3 more if it was on heroic. So you get 6, and things cost like 20, so you couldn't. So yeah, like you could only get like maybe 8 strange coins a week. Man, it was tough. The grind was definitely real back then, and it sucked. But now it's just like maybe some people were complaining that it's more casual. It's not as hardcore. But actually, it's just as hardcore. It's just not fun.
Right. This game has been me playing through this has been a lot more fun. I'm actually considering making a type.
Before December, if it's anything like how it was before, then whatever's the first DLC should come out in December. I didn't get the season pass because I wanted to make sure that I like the game and it's something I'm going to play, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to want the DLC and stuff. So I'm probably going to get the season pass at some point, but I don't have it yet because there's no.
I probably will also. The question is, am I going to get the season pass on Xbox or PlayStation?
Right, because I got this. Well, not I. I lost my train of thought, but it was that the first DLC was kind of leaked on what it's going to be about, which actually kind of made me excited because it sounds like something cool. Osiris from the last game, he like the Trials of Osiris. He's like this like legendary warlock. Was kind of about him some way. I think he trained Ikora, so that's pretty cool because it seems like some pretty cool lore right there. Mm-hmm. Warlock lore.
I don't know anything about Osiris because I.
Well, I mean, nobody does. So that's the thing. I mean, Destiny 1 didn't have a story.
I don't even know about Trials of Osiris. That's what I'm saying. I didn't play.
Well, the Trials of Osiris was a multiplayer thing. They have Trials of the 9 now. So, but it's basically the ultimate multiplayer thing you can do. It's like, it's basically Counter-Strike and Destiny to where you only have it's like elimination basically. So
okay. No, we good.
You have to win. So many.
I don't want to play. I don't want to play multiplayer.
Right. The only time I would want to is if we had a game night and we were just fucking around, But I haven't had any need to. Like, I haven't even had any need to do strikes, which actually kind of saddens me because some of the strikes are actually pretty good, and I just haven't had a need to do them yet. And
I will say I have this time. I've been aware that one of the strikes that I did today is the exclusive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's called the Lake of something. It's the something lake or whatever.
Huh. Nice.
But that was one of the strikes I did today. Like I said, I did like 8 to 10 of them today.
Nice. Yeah. We need to get in and do some strikes because I do like. Even though we did a lot of them in the last game, strikes are cool. They
Motherfucker,
are
we should do that shit right now.
Ember's watching something because I'm doing a podcast.
I was gonna play the game with her. It said she was on Destiny, but she didn't actually start the game. Maybe it's like was on, but it's paused or whatever. But it said that she was on Destiny for like the last like 2 hours or so.
Well, the thing with the PlayStation that kind of sucks is like it doesn't show your apps when you're doing that. It doesn't. Oh, you're watching Netflix. If you have a game going, well, it might if you turn the game like you actually turn the game completely off, like close application. But if you leave the application up and you go into Netflix, it'll still say you're playing Destiny.
So yeah, I was like, hey, I'm gonna actually play the game with her because she was in the chat with us when we played, talking. She said she wished she could play with us, and I was like, well, I could play the game.
Yeah.
Nope.
This when we end the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh no! I started paying attention to Facebook. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. That's my fault. That's really my fault. I can cut that out.
There is one thing that I wanted to bring up that was actually in our Discord chat. I had put a link to the Discord chat in Facebook, and Howard had joined.
Really?
So me and Howard have been talking, and the Howard that I'm talking about is none other than Husky. So let me see what he. But yeah, he so Husky joined in on the Discord, and he had mentioned something about EVE Online, to where I believe that there's like robbing in the game to where you can like actually.
Oh no! I shared that video with another chat where these guys are explaining that. Do you know what happened?
That he like got robbed, and then he like put out a hit to like have the dude's hands cut off or some shit.
No. Okay, so here's what happened. Do you know anything about EVE?
Very little.
Okay, basically, these the game is run, and they have these very, very large, for the sake of conversation, we call them clans, and the clans are run, and people pay like real money and all of this stuff for their subscriptions, and they also pay a lot of money for like in-game ships and items and all this kind of stuff. This one guy who was in charge of this one of the top 3 largest clans or whatever. I guess he had a beef with his clan, so their rival group spoke to him when they were all at an EVE convention at some point. And so he set a plan in motion where he basically locked his whole clan out of their base, kept all of their ships, and basically took all of their in-game money and gave positions of power to their rivals. One guy was in charge of all of this stuff, and he did that. And these are people who have played and put so much money into this game. So the guy who was actually in charge of the clan, they were in a chat, and he was like, he basically got mad and said, type this shit out while you still have hands. That's what he said. Like, type this shit out while you still have hands. And that's what he said. But he did not know that the guy who did all of this shit was live streaming this, and people started reporting that guy. So he got banned from the game for life. So these people lost their clan, they lost their clan base, they lost all of their ships, they lost all of their in-game money, and now the leader of the clan is banned from the game because one guy got mad. And
So
these are people who have been playing this game for years, and they have lost years of progress in that.
but yeah, Husky on here says after being robbed in in-game items for valued up to $20,000, an EVE Online player encouraged the community to dox the offender and for the purpose of finding him in real life and cut off his hand.
Yeah, well, he said it. Well, I mean, he probably got real mad and wanted to do it in real life after he got banned, because of that. But yes, but it's a long tale about. I watched this video and I can't remember I can't remember who did the video, but yeah, bruh, it was. I mean, it was. It's like some crazy shit, and like people who play that game, it's like one of the worst things that could happen. But this is what happens when one person has control over all of this shit.
Right. Yeah, because I was wondering, like in games
it's like some
DayZ
real
and stuff.
It's like some real spy shit, because like not only is it like one guy got mad, but like the one guy got mad, but then he was, there was collusion, like there's like espionage, like it's like all of these things, bruh. Like I'm gonna send you this video. I'm gonna send you the video that I watched. It was from Pretty Good Gaming.
Okay, I'll link it in the Facebook.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you. Oops. I think that actually plays in the thing. So I clicked on the video, it started playing. So somebody probably heard someone say EVE Online. But that was not what was popping on these streets. But yeah, I'm gonna send this to you. But yeah, it's so crazy and it's so deep. This dude just defrauded his crew out of thousands of dollars and took all of their stuff, and no matter how many play hours that he just fucked all of these people for. I don't even know why he was really mad, bruh.
I don't know either, but yeah, I was about to say, like, is it like games like DayZ and stuff to where people can kill you and take your stuff? Like if you bought an assault rifle with microtransactions and decked yourself out with stuff you bought with real game money or real life money, and then someone kills you and takes your stuff that you bought with real money, is that actual theft?
Yes.
Like, and if the game is built on that, so like the game, you can actually steal things from people that's literally real life, like just like someone taking your Microsoft points or something. Well, it's not real money, but you paid for it real money. Yeah, that's like saying my PlayStation isn't real money, but you taking it.
There's a conversion rate. There's an actual like tangible conversion rate. So yeah, absolutely, that is theft. Because if you steal my Microsoft points, then that's stuff that I had to put real money down for, and there is an actual like there's an actual amount of money that this thing translates into. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, that's the reason I stayed. Like DayZ looked kind of fun when people were playing it and stuff, but I don't want people stealing stuff. You know what I mean? That's just like a game built on despicable behavior. Like it's almost like the Division's Dark Zone, but worse.
Yeah, Eve has had a few of these. Like Eve is like almost completely, player run. So like shit like this could happen. It's just no one thought that no one should think that one person would access to all this.
Right.
Like everything would be so much easier if it wasn't just one person that had access to all of this and could actually.
Because that's like in Destiny, someone coming and taking my dances, just taking my moves, man, like breaking my legs to where I can't dance no more.
Yep.
Why would you do that? Yeah, shout out to Husky because he made started us a little topic there.
Oh, I need to get on the Discord.
Yeah, well, I'll talk to you after. But
okay.
But yeah, I don't really know what to say right now. Now it's very awkward podcasting. I sound like unprofessional. I'm like
Yeah, I'm just kind of all over the place because I'm talking to you, and like I was looking for that video, and everything is just kind of all over the place. You know what? We should just end the show. I think we should end the show right there.
Later.
I mean, because the pauses are going to get taken out, like, because I always do the truncate silence. So as long as we're quiet in between our pauses, that'll get taken out no matter what. But yeah, this just, I mean, I'm just not in the right headspace. Like, I don't feel very, and I really want to go play Destiny. So we should go tell Amber to get the fuck the TV.
Have we been podcasting for 2 hours?
We've been talking for 2 hours, not podcasting.
Nice.
But yeah, we had about a half an hour in the previous part, and this has been an hour and a half. Yep. So we probably have been podcasting for 2 hours. They're not going to think it's 2 hours because I'm going to truncate this out, and I'm going to try to see if I can where computer just said "fuck you." Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're gonna. So thank you. Checking out Scarcasm Live. We're kind of place. I'm not feeling very good, and I've only played just a ton of Destiny. I haven't done a whole lot of anything else except for Black Mirror. My birthday was kind of cool. I took it easy that day. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it, and everything's everything. So thank y'all.
Awesome.
Thank y'all. And I got Destiny for my birthday, so awesome.
Yeah, shout out the September birthdays. There's a shitload of them.
Yeah, when it's cold outside, people just want to fuck. Like this, so what happens? Like, you know, it's 9 months from the end of the year. Which the end of the year is usually when it's cold.
Right.
See, it gets cold outside. You snuggle up with your honey. No, you don't wrap it up. Guess what happens in September?
She gets dismembered.
Bruh.
In.
Yep, that's it. No. Shout out to all my Warlock supremacists out there. I appreciate you listening. Please don't do a Titan or a Hunter. They live off the Traveler, and they don't support our economy, and they don't run for our nation. So do what you do.
Yeah, Warlock. Let's make the tower great again.
Yes, let's make the tower great again. We're out of here. Peace out to you.
Later.
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm telling you, Whoa. I'm telling. All right, I ain't gonna talk.